Hello students, welcome to the Earth Moving Equipment and Farm Machinery classes. Myself Shankho Ghosh, Assistant Professor of Automobile Engineering Department at Dr. Sudhir Chandra Sood Degree Engineering College under the JIS. From the previous classes, we started the discussion on the second module. And the topic is tractor. In the previous classes, we already discussed about the tractor's definitions, its classifications. Then we can then after that we studied about the selection of the tractors. Now from today we'll continue this class with the power plant or the power flow diagrams of the tractors. So students, just a minute. I'm sharing notes with here. So here, sorry. So students, let's start the today's class. Basically, the power plant operating control and units of tractors. Here, in this power plant, operation and the control of unit of tractor, where we study about the important factors which is takes important role. The important factors those are taken important role to operate the tractor in the proper way. So for that reason we need a power plant where the power has been produced, and so for the power produced or the production of the power, we need a IC engine or the internal combustion engine. Basically in the tractor we use the diesel engine. Next is the clutch. Clutch is an second important part, because with the help of the clutch we passes the power which is generated in the engine section to the transmission system. So next, third one is the transmission. So then third is the transmission. So in this system, this transmission system takes an important role to provide the power after collecting the clutch to the propeller shaft. Through the help of the transmission section, it can increase or decrease the speed of the vehicle with the help of this transmission. After that we need the propeller shaft, where the propeller shaft takes an important role, because this propeller shaft basically transfer the power from the transmission section to the differential section. Next is differential. Basically in case of the differential, we passes the power from the propeller shaft to the axle, star axle or the axle, where in the help of the differential we can divide the power when the tractor take a turn. It may be a left turn or it may be the right turn. So for that reason the differential has taken important role for this to control the tractor. Next is the traction gear. Traction gear takes an important role to control the traction with the help of this gear. So for that reason, to controlling the traction, they need various kinds of the gear. So for that reason, these traction gears take an important role or play an important role in case to control the tractor. Next is the wheel assembly. Wheel assembly is an also important part, because this wheel assembly needs to transport these heavy machines or heavy vehicle from one point to the another point. So that's why this wheel assembly takes an important role. Next is steering. Steering is required to drive this heavy vehicle in a direction. Direction. It when it is rotated into the right direction, then the vehicle turns to the right side, and when it is the left direction, then the vehicle is turned into the left side. So according to this, the vehicle is controlling this heavy vehicle. The steering is then important role. When we are traveling or use this vehicle with the steering or the wheel assembly or the power section, we need to stop or slow down the vehicle. So for that reason, to stop or to slow down the vehicle, we need some braking system. So that's why the braking system is and also an important part, takes an important role in this to control the tractor. Next is the chassis frame and the suspension. Chassis frame and suspension takes an important role because just just an just as an example, the skeleton is the most important part of our body, because on the skeletons, which is protect our various important parts, body parts like lungs, hearts, etc. And on this skeleton, our body can be built up. So here, in a similar way, in a vehicle, chassis frame or chassis suspensions are most important part, which is play a role like a skeleton, where all the where all the parts of these vehicles are fitted on this chassis, so they can be modified, or some much more components are there, those are fitted directly inside the chassis frame. So for this stability or controlling, so for that reason chassis frames are much more important, and suspension is required because when the heavy vehicle is transporting or doing his job, so that time some kinds of jerkings are show on this vehicle. So that kind of jerk are they try to the designer or try to that kind of jerk are not reach to the operator's area. So that's why they are using the various kinds of suspension. So that's why the chassis frame and suspension are much more important portion. Next one is the front wheel assembly. So as we know, or as we all showing a picture of a tractor, we find out that there are the four wheel and the two wheel front and two wheels are rear. In the front wheels are in different size and rear wheel are the different size. So that's why the front wheels assembly must be a different kind of nature, and the rear wheel assembly must be a different kind of nature. So that's why the sun takes another important role. Next is the PTO shaft. PTO shaft is the power takeoff shaft. This PTO shaft, with the help of this PTO shaft, spikes or rippers or the uh, scrapers are attached from the front or the rear sides of this tractor to drive these rippers or scrapers with the help of the PTO shaft the help of this PTO shaft. So for that reason, the PTO shaft takes an important role for this kind tractor. Next is the hydraulic system. So in case of the hydraulic system, it takes an important role because when when the tractor is cultivated any kind of field, so we need this we need a go straight, and then we take a U-turn, and then cultivating the soil. So when we taking the U-turn, So with the tractor farmers think that when the tractors take a U-turn, so on that area they not need to cultivate the area. So for that reason they are using with the help of the hydraulic system, they are lift the lift up the lift up the spike, and when it is completely U-turn, take the U-turn, and then with the help of the hydraulic they just lift down the spike and then go through the cultivation process. So for that reason the hydraulic system is takes an important role. And after, and then next one is the electrical system. Electrical system is required because nowadays all the operating functions in between this in the tractor, those are other electrical connection, or in this place of the mechanical connection it is converted into the electrical or the electronic conversion. That's because there is some issue has been generated or placed. So when the issue is being placed, for that reason we need some electrical system to control all the components in a synchronizing method. So for that reason these are the take an important role. So students, here you can see that these 14s these 14 parameters are takes an important role. So these 14 parameters are take an important role for a to important role to control or to operate the tractor in a proper way. Now coming to the power flow diagram. So here you can see in this picture, this one is the front side and this one is the rear side. As you can see that from this picture you can easily find out the which portion is the front, which portion is the rear, with the help of the tire size. So as you can see in this picture, the front size, the tire size of here are smaller than the these kinds of tires. So you can easily find out that this area is the frontal area, so this area is the front area and this area is the rear area. Here in this, before study the power flow diagram, here we can find that there are some notation in the number. There are the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. Before study the power flow diagram, we need to identify this number, this 1. Here the number 1 define the power plant section or showing the engine portion. Number 2 is showing the clutch area. Number 3 is showing number 3 means the transmission or the gearbox. Number 4 means the showing the propeller shaft. Number 5 is a differential. Number 6 is the reduction gear. Number 7 is the rear driving wheel, and number 8 is the front wheel. So students, here you can find out that you can see that the engine which is fitted in the bonnet zone or the front zone of this vehicle. Then after the engine there are some clutch section, clutch or clutch pressure plate assembly. After that the clutch pressure plate assembly, there are the transmission section or the gearbox section. After the gearbox section, the propeller shafts are present, or the propeller shafts are ended to the differential box, and then differential box is connected with this the rear wheel driving reduction gear, rear wheel reduction gear, and then this reduction gear is connected with the rear wheel, and this in the front end there is the front wheel. So here the power is generated in the one or in the engine section, then it passes to the clutch area, clutch zone, then clutches zone to the, then the power is passes from clutch to the transmission of the gearbox section, from gearbox to the propeller shaft, from propeller shaft to the differential, then differential to the redu- reduction gear or the sprocket chain drive. This is the sprocket of the chain drive, and then from there it passes to the wheel, the rear wheel. So in this way this power is transmitted. So students, here from this picture, from this picture you can understand that this is a basically R W D, or it's a rear wheel drive vehicle, because the the power is transmitted from not into the front wheel. This is directly transmitted to the rear wheel. So that's why this is a rear wheel drive vehicle. Here so here the power is passes to the rear driving wheel with the help of the clutch, transmission, differential, and the speed reduction gear. So it is interesting. So it is interesting to note that the effort for increasing the traction of the rear wheels are done through the 3-speed reduction unit. Like first reduction unit is occurred in this gearbox section. Next is the differential reduction ratio, and then is the reduction gear or the sprocket chain drive. So basically this is a 3-speed reduction unit. Next is and second another thing is that the traction can be done through the by making the driving wheel of robust size, making with the robust size compared to the front wheel. So as you can see in this picture, the rear wheel can be robust in size compared to the front wheel. So as we denote that the uh, diameter of front rear wheel, that is the diameter of 7, is greater than the diameter of the rear. So this is a robust system. So with the help of these two things, with the help of these two things we can easily increasing the traction of the rear wheel. So those are, first one is the 3-speed reduction units. Those are 3-speed reduction units which is available in this power flow diagram. So here the 3 speeds reduction units means, first of all, the gearbox reduction ratio. Second one is the differential reduction ratio. And number 3 is the reduction gear or the sprocket chain drive reduction ratio. So these 3 are the speed reduction units are available. And number 2 is the rear wheel is the robust. The rear wheel is robust size compared to the front wheel. So according to these two things, the we can easily control the traction of the rear wheel. Now coming to the next slide, that is the chassis. Here we can see in this chassis section we can find out that there are some numbers are denoted here. Those are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Here these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are denoted are some things. So first of all we can find out the what is the meaning of 1, what is the meaning of 2, what is 3, 4 and 5. Here the number 1 denoting the chassis frame, the longitudinal unit. So this one is the longitudinal units. Longitudinal unit. So similar way here is another longitudinal unit. Number 2 is the cross member. Number 3 is showing here. This number 3 showing the engine mounting or the engine space. So here some gapping there. So you can see this picture from, if we can see this chassis from this side, so we can find out that in this area we can looks like this. So this particular area this area the engine can be fitted. So that's why this number 3 are showing here that the engine mounting zone. Next is the number 4. Number 4 is the clutch housing and number 5 is the gearbox housing. So if I draw in a clean way the layout of this structure, engine, just take an engine can be placed here, then clutch box section is will placed in here, and after that transmission sections or the gearbox is fitted in here. So according to this then chassis can be fitted on this in this way. So this is the way the chassis can be can be fitted here. So this area is the engine portion, this is the engine section, clutch section and the transmission section. So from these pictures you can find that this is the basically box shape, this chassis frame, this box kinds of chassis frame is made from the fabrication of the steel, from the fabrication of the steel plate by the welding methods. And this frame is fixed longitudinally on the front and the rear axle frame, where engine, clutch, gearbox and the differential are set on this chassis. So this is the total integral chassis of the tractors. So students, here in this today's class we know about the important factors, those are taken important role to operate the tractor and we knew about the power flow of the we need the we study about the power flow diagram and also the chassis of the transmission section. So in the next classes we'll discuss on the new things, that is the suspensions, wheel track with etc. on this on the next class. So still then, stay at home and stay safe. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, class.